You got to up your saving and investing rate to 15, 20, 30% of your money. It's going to really help. So if you're watching this and you're putting in 4 or 5% to your 401k, that ain't enough. Increase it. I'm challenging you to increase that amount. Guys, most people think that retirement is complicated or has to be complicated, but your entire financial life really comes down to a few key numbers. If you track these 5 numbers that I'm going to give you on this video consistently, you'll understand exactly where you are financially and how close you are to financial independence and your ability to ultimately retire early. Now, the first number is your net worth. Net worth is simply this. It's the market value of everything you own minus everything you owe. Now, assets on the side of the equation of net worth simply include things like the value of your home or homes, your cars, the value of your cars, the market value, your investments, your retirement accounts, your savings accounts, and all that are things that you own, right? And then the liability side of the equation of your net worth include things like mortgages that you owe, car loans that you owe, student loans, credit card debt, maybe even personal loans or medical debt. All of those go on the liability side, what you owe. So your net worth is simply your assets minus your liabilities. And your net worth really, guys, is a scorecard for your financial life. It's how you can really measure if you're building wealth or if you're not building wealth. If your net worth is increasing every single year, cool. You're moving in the right direction, right? And putting yourself in a position to retire early. If it's flat or declining, then something in your financial system has got to change. Most people, they never calculate their net worth, but it's one of the most powerful ways to actually see your financial progress on paper in front of you over time. Tracking your net worth once or twice a year, at least, is usually going to be enough for most people to stay focused, right, on what you're trying to get accomplished. You want to see the asset side increase and you want to see the liability side decrease over time. It can make a huge difference. Now, the second number that you need to be tracking in order to retire early, maybe 10 years early, is your annual spending. Now, this number right here, it's going to determine how much money you actually need to retire ultimately. Here's the deal. Many people focus on income, but retirement, guys, is really about how much money do you spend each year. For example, if your lifestyle requires you to spend $60,000 a year to maintain the current lifestyle you have, then that number becomes the foundation for your retirement planning. The lower your annual spending, the less money that you need to become financially free. And the easier it becomes ultimately to retire early. So you want to need less money. Ultimately, people who control their spending, their expenses, they often find that they can retire earlier than people whose spending is out of control. Annual spending is also one of the most powerful numbers because here's what it does. Your annual spending forces you to understand the true cost of what your lifestyle is. And in order to change or maybe live below your means, your income, you got to first know what you're spending every year. Now, the third number is your savings and investing rate. Now, this is the percentage of your income that you save and invest. Your savings rate, I'm telling you, it determines how quickly you're going to actually build wealth. Somebody saving 5% of their income, yeah, you'll make some progress, right? You save 5% of your income, you'll get there, but you'll get there slow. It might take you 30 or 40 years to get to where you want to get, right? But somebody saving 20% or 30% of their income, their savings rate is 20 or 30%, you're going to move a lot faster than somebody who's saving much or investing much less. The higher this savings rate, the more you increase your chances to retire early. Like I say, you can save 4 or 5% and get the match at your job and think that's real, but that's just going to take you so much longer. You got to up your saving and investing rate to 15, 20, 30% of your money. It's going to really help. So if you're watching this and you're putting in 4 or 5% to your 401k, that ain't enough. Increase it. I'm challenging you to increase that amount. Because the more you save, the more you invest right now, the more you're going to have down the road and the more you're going to accumulate more faster. So you want to increase that investing and savings and investing rate as big as possible. Max out the 401k, max out the 403b, max out the TSP, because this savings rate is going to determine the speed by which you build wealth. Two people earning the exact same salary can end up in completely different financial situations depending on how much of that income they actually save and invest, what percentage. So tracking this savings rate percentage of your income is going to help you stay disciplined, and it's going to help you stay focused on building long-term wealth, more long-term wealth, and help you move closer to the option to retire early. Like I said, you want to get it up to 15, 20% and more, because it's just going to speed everything up for you. Now, the fourth number that you got to track in order to retire early is your monthly surplus. That's your monthly cushion, okay? This is the difference between what you bring in, your income, and what you send out in expenses. So income minus expenses equals your surplus, or your cushion of money that you now have to do other things with. If you earn $6,000 per month and you spend $5,000 on expenses, then your surplus or cushion is about $1,000. That surplus, that cushion, money left over, that becomes your engine that's going to help you build wealth. Why? Because it's the money that pays down your debt, your bad debt. It's the money that ultimately is going towards building your emergency fund. It's the money that ultimately is going to be put towards more investing. So this money, this cushion that you have left over after expenses every month, that's huge. It can help you increase that savings rate that we talked about earlier. So it matters a lot, keeping those expenses low and making that cushion grow and grow. So every time that you make more money, don't spend more money. Every time you make more money, let that cushion build up, right? So that in the year 2026, the cushion is $1,000. But by the year 2035 gets here, that cushion should be about $3,000 or $4,000, right? Over the years, that cushion is huge, because here's the deal. If you don't have a monthly surplus that's big enough, it becomes almost impossible for you to make consistent progress towards financial independence or towards the ability to retire early. You'd be surprised, guys, at how a small change to your spending habits or your income can dramatically increase your cushion and put you in a better position to actually retire early. Now, the fifth number you got to track is your retirement number. Now, what is the retirement number? This is the amount of invested assets required to support your lifestyle. Let me put it a different way. One simple way to estimate this number that you need to support your lifestyle is to multiply your annual spending. Well, first you got to know what your monthly spending is, multiply that by 12, and then take your annual spending, your annual expenses on a regular year, and multiply that by 25. So here's an example. If you spend $50,000 per year, you need roughly $1.25 million invested to do a 4% withdrawal rate from that money to still live the way you live today for the next 25 years. If you spend, let's say you spend $80,000 per year, then your retirement number is roughly $2 million, because you got to take that 80,000 multiplied by 25. And it's roughly $2 million that you need to use the 4% withdrawal rule to make this money last you at least 25 years, right? If you live the way you live now for the next 25 years. See, once your investments can reasonably support this annual spending, then work becomes optional. You don't have to go into work for the next 25, 30 years if you don't want to. That's financial freedom. That's why knowing this number is very important. And that's how many people are able to just retire early, 10, 15, 20 years earlier. See, this is the point when you know this number and you have this amount invested. This is the number where financial independence, financial freedom really begins, right? So knowing this number, this retirement number, it removes some of the mystery from retirement planning, because you now got a clear target if your goal is to actually retire early, right? So when you step back and look at all 5 of these numbers that I talked about, your financial life really boils down to knowing these numbers, and not just knowing them, but fine-tuning them, right? Your net worth is going to tell you where you are today. It's going to help you measure your progress in terms of net worth. Your annual spending is going to tell you how much retirement is going to cost you. Your savings rate is going to help you determine how fast you get to financial freedom, how fast you can get to financial independence. And then that monthly surplus or that cushion is what's going to provide you the fuel that helps you build wealth, because that monthly cushion is going to help you pay off bad debt. It's going to help you increase your emergency savings. It's going to help you actually invest more money, right? And then that final retirement number gives you a clear-cut finish line. When you have all 5 of these numbers moving in the right direction, you're building a strong financial foundation that you can retire early on and achieve that financial freedom years earlier than you thought you could. But you got to pay attention to the numbers, right? You can't achieve anything unless you have some clear-cut goals and you know where you're trying to go and you actually know what you're working with. That's why you got to know these numbers. Look, I hope you got some value out of this video. Be sure to share this video with your network of good people. And if you want a deeper step-by-step system for managing your money and building wealth, check out my book, Manage Your Way to Millions, at manageyourwaytomillions.com. Or you can simply just click on the first link in the description box below. Listen, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.